The Nautical wear with the car canal, man. Peace. Good evening. Like to welcome you guys back to another edition of the Foul Playland. As always, I am Sir Foul Player of BK, Vietnam, New York City. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. I'm trying to establish a little bit more of a live stream presence because funny thing is with the YouTube, I've been getting my shit not taken down, but they don't process. Like if I put like yesterday's live stream and the last live stream I did a couple days ago, I waited for for a whole day for them to process it. I get, when you download a video onto YouTube, it does either one, it processes it and then it downloads it, and in one of those steps, it said processing, but I'm not sure if processing happens first or afterwards. Regardless, in one of those steps, it just said processing for the whole time, and this is kind of like what happened the other day. In addition to, I just peeped, like right before I got on here, I lost like 18 subs one day. YouTube is putting the kibosh on your boy. But keep it moving, keep it pushing. Regardless, I started the whole talking about the migrants and all this stuff that I've been talking about more recently and more regularly, and that got me a little bit of new subs. But I think the main thing is just trying to keep at it, regardless of big tech, YouTube, whatever. What these platforms try to do to stop real conversations from happening nowadays, it ain't gonna stop the flow. I'm still gonna try to make videos, and hopefully that would equate to better things moving forward. I hope you guys are doing great. Making sure my camera's right. I've had a pretty crummy day. Not to get into my personal stuff too much. Two things that I had to have going on bailed out on me. Both. Stupid GPS wasn't working too. That always messes up my day when I'm going to places I don't know where I'm heading to. But why not vent here, and why not use this as an apparatus to let go of today's ugliness, if you will. I'm gonna put my shit on full screen if you guys can't. I won't be able to read comments off the rip, but actually, let me start with some clips too. I had some good clips. I have a clip of the greatest vice president to ever grace American politics, and that is one Kamala Harris. She gave a speech in which she was discussing Gen Z, and she had some riveting words, if you will, things that make you thought-provoking dialogue that our vice president was dishing in our direction. I'm gonna put it now. 1 second. Just trying to minimize a few things. Also, I'm going to get into one of the title at hand as to the Iran and Pakistan entering the beginning stages of a war. I'm not going to say they're at war, but they both bombed each other in the last couple of days. I'm not sure what that's about, honestly. The area in question too, not the country in question, but another area between the countries in question. I never heard of it until this little conflict broke out. And I'm usually in tune with stuff that's happening throughout the world as far as global politics, if you will. I try to stay in tune with a lot of that stuff. I've always been interested in that stuff. I think it has a direct tie into global finance, and I'm also interested in global finance. So two birds, one stone as far as my interest in these global political news stories. But I'll get into that in a second. Actually, I got to send the link out too. So pardon self real quick while I do this. Excellent. Okay. And I hope you guys are having, again, a wonderful day. Also, too, I mean, if you guys are here, regardless, I mean, like if I've got into an internet transaction with you that was ugly, like within a comment section or anything, I don't give two shits. I mean, like you guys come here, like talk all the crap you want. You're more than welcome here. I need all the views I get, all the riveting up of this channel that I could get as well. Also, too, I mean, I'm not gonna, unless you come on some real like funny stuff, like I'm not gonna boot you from here or stop you from here, mute you from on this platform. You can say anything you want. You feel a way about Puerto Ricans and you want to air that out on a Puerto Rican, feel free. I mean, with this Puerto Rican that's talking to you as we speak, if you feel a way about whatever political affinity you rock with, whether I like it or not, I mean, you get to air out anything you want on this platform. No stopping the flow on this side. Just trying to send this link out. What the hell? But so I'm gonna, while I send this link out, I'm going to present the video real quick. Again, this is our Vice President Kamala Harris giving her insights. But take a listen.
To the psyche of a community, to the well-being and health of a community.
Also, too, I mean, if you guys ever get a chance to listen to Kamala Harris talk, this woman has zero insight. I'm not saying it because she's a lady. I'm not saying it because she's black. I'm saying it because she's very vapid. I'm sure that they've got a policy in place which basically keeps her away from the microphone because she sounds real stupid when she speaks. And this clip that I'm showing now is no different.
Actual academic discourse. It is very real to people, to a community, to families, to the psyche of a community, to the well-being and health of a community. So when we have this conversation among us, this is not some intellectual academic discourse. It is very real. It is part of our lived existence.
These are just weasel wordery that's happening now, or just making stuff up, putting random words together. But this is the good part.
And it is that approach that I bring then to my thoughts about this issue. So I started a college tour last fall because, I have to tell you, I love Gen Z. Yes, I know, but I love Gen Z. And it will be a humbling fact to many of us when we realize that anyone who is 18 today, they were born in 2005. Indeed, yes, wow. And this generation.
Yeah, so I mean, this clip has been making a little bit of news because of her insight in general is similar to this. I mean, she's basically saying like a lot of nothing words in her speeches, a lot of dumb math, and you're gonna get a lot of white liberal women in the crowd in most of these cases agreeing with everything she says, just cause. But let me play it again while I send this clip out. While I send this link out. What the hell's wrong with this thing?
Because, I have to tell you, I love Gen Z. Yes, I know, but I love Gen Z. And it will be a humbling fact to many of us when we realize that anyone who is 18 today, they were born in 2005. Indeed, yes, wow. And this generation, for so many of these issues, it's a lived experience. Think about it. For this generation of who I call young leaders, they've only known the climate crisis. In fact, they've coined a term, climate anxiety,
Never heard of that term.
to describe their fears about having children or buying a home for fear that it may be destroyed because of extreme climate incidents.
I think people fear being broke as shit far more than any fears of the climate. But that's just me. But that was Kamala Harris dropping her insight, letting you know that if you're a member of this Gen Z group and you happen to be born in the years of 2005, that at this current juncture, do the math, you're 18. So give it up for the vice president of the whole world, Kamala Harris, one of the most vapid individuals, let alone anywhere, let alone politically. I mean, so that's dangerous in itself. I don't get to roast Kamala Harris much. I actually roast Kamala Harris a lot more before she became the president. And I remember hearing people talk about her. I'm actually familiar with the Northern Cali area, have friends there. But when I first started getting on YouTube or listening to YouTube more regularly in relation to boxing talk, I remember a boxing channel I would listen to called Cali Enigma. Shout out to him. And he's of course from California. I believe he's from the Northern California area as well. But he would always rag on Kamala Harris when she first started being mentioned as a presidential candidate. And I remember right after he mentioned it, I started hearing it on YouTube all over the place, on popular media. Not as if it was the main subject at hand, but you started hearing murmurings on Black YouTube, if you will, saying shitting on Kamala Harris, how she used to send people to jail and whatnot. There was also a controversy in which she was keeping people for weed crimes locked up long term, and those people in turn were working slave labor pretty much for private contractors, because the state of California at that time had a agreement, that's my dishwasher, in which they would send people who were interned in their prisons to go work manual labor during their incarceration. At that time, this was done through private entities, private corporations, contractors, if you will. So they were getting a good deal because they were getting cheap labor. So I think the rumor was that while she was the district attorney of California, purposely extending the sentences of people that were getting in trouble for like weed crimes and whatnot. And in turn, that would create a channel of free labor for these people that were probably throwing money her way to become ultimately a presidential candidate. But I remember like the whole anti-Kamala Harris thing that I was hearing right when she was running for president, right before she was running for president. I started hearing that a lot. I stopped hearing it right at the point where she dropped out of the race. I remember her numbers being really poor, especially at the debate she had where she got roasted by Tulsi Gabbard, if I remember correctly. Right after that, her percentage as far as poll numbers went to become the Democratic candidate went from like the double digits to like 3% or something really low. And then after that, I stopped hearing about Kamala Harris altogether, up until the point in which the Black Don, the guy who sets the trend for everything that happens within the hood community, Joe Biden, chose Kamala Harris as his running mate, and then all you could hear was good things. about Kamala Harris within the media. Now all of a sudden, a lot of, like, if you will, Black YouTube, some of the channels that I would hear, you started hearing them less and less. Not the particular channels, but you started getting a less flow of information. Again, all these things are controlled by an algorithm. If you're not getting information, it's because YouTube's choosing not to bring it to your doorstep. But anyhow, you started getting less and less bad press from regular media of Kamala Harris, in addition to big tech, once she got selected to become Joe Biden's running mate. Joe Biden also started stopped. I mean, even way before that, stopped getting bad press in relation to his work against the Black community during this same time. But now we're here. I mean, now we're here, and we have a very vapid, not very smart vice president, in addition to a president who, by all observations, if you have eyes, looks to be lost, or at the very least, who knows? I mean, looks like sometimes a little case of elder abuse, if you will. But it's scary all around. I mean, you got one that's very vapid, combined with somebody who's lost, in addition to the fact of everything that's happening in the world. All these wars popping off. Israel's banging on Gaza, Palestine, whatever you have. You also still have Ukraine and Russia popping off. Your life got far more miserable during this same time last year or 2 years ago. And the only reasoning behind that, according to the major media, was because of the sacrifices you would have to make for the Ukraine-Russia war. Everything's going up because Ukraine, Russia. Everything's still up, but we got a few more wars popping off. You also have Venezuela considering invading Guyana in Southern America for territory that they feel is theirs. But now you have this stuff happening with Iran and Pakistan. And I'm going to read from a Yahoo News article. I'm going to share my screen again. No one likes Kamala Harris. My brother, Oliver Nunez. How you been, bro? Glad to see you here, bro. The proud papa. But very proud of you too, man. But let me share my screen with the first article at hand. And this is in relation to these missile strikes that Iran and Pakistan were doing against each other just last night and a day before. Have you heard about it on the news? Not very much. I mean, like, I have a sneaking suspicion that anything that looks like negative press will be kept from you in an effort to try to keep your president in place after 2024 and beyond. That's just my theory. Let me get into the article. And the article is from Yahoo News, and it reads, Iran, Pakistan strike on each other, part of long-time tensions. The week's strikes via Iran and Pakistan on each other's territory are part of decades of tension, which have been renewed due to major events in the Middle East lately, according to The Hill. Per The Hill, the two nations have had, quote, complicated relations since 1979, the Iranian Revolution. The existence of terrorist groups in southeast Iran and southwest Pakistan also creates tensions and explains recent strikes between the two nations, BBC reported. Why did Iran and Pakistan strike each other? It's asking. Pakistan announced Thursday that it had launched airstrikes against alleged terrorist hideouts inside Iran, according to the Associated Press. The strikes, which killed 9 people, followed a similar attack from Iran on Pakistan 2 days earlier. The Iran-Pakistan border, particularly Pakistan's Balochistan province and Iran's sister Balochistan province on both sides of the border, is a common hideout for militants, CNN reported. Both nations have fought terrorists for a long time on the border, but Iran and Pakistan rarely attack militants on each other's soil. So this Balochistan province, I think in one of these regions, whether it's Balochistan province, which is in Iran, and this Balochistan province, which is in Pakistan, I believe they're pretty much alikes that are these like separatist groups that are in those respective countries. I believe they may be the same as like saying Kurds, where Kurds aren't necessarily in Kurdistan. Kurds are like all over the place within the Middle East, where it's not like really a border thing. But maybe these are both groups from both these countries that probably consider themselves alikes, although they live in two separate countries. That changed this week. Quote, internal political pressures led to Iran and Pakistan striking each other over charges that neither is doing what's possible to keep terrorists at bay, according to the AP. The Jaish al-Adil and Jandullah militant groups have bases in Pakistan and attack Iranian police and soldiers, while the Baluch Liberation Army is in Iran and has fought Pakistan for decades. Yeah, these are in the outskirts of these countries, and Pakistan's always been known to be a little bit of a breeding ground for terrorist groups, whether to train. There was rumors that Al-Qaeda was training there, rumors that Bin Laden was housed there for a while he was on the run. So I mean, and these are pretty rundown, in the middle of nowhere areas, I'm assuming. Middle East chaos and Iran. The airstrikes on terrorists came not long after Iran struck both targets in both Iraq and Syria, according to the BBC. And this strike that they're mentioning, where Iraq struck targets in Iraq and Syria, some people are saying that these, as it relates to Syria, were really close to American troops that were based there. We're not supposed to have troops in either one of these countries, honestly. But I think in both of these cases, the airstrikes that came from Iran to Iraq and Syria, in both instances, these were areas that were really close to troops that were housed there, from things that I was reading this weekend when this first started popping off. Iran has accused both Islamic State and Israel's Mossad spy agency as being part of a bombing in Iran that killed 84 people. Iran said that it struck both organizations, BBC reported. In addition to its own military action, Iran's proxies like Hezbollah and Yemen's Houthis continue to pursue activity, according to the CNN. Iran has much to gain from the dysfunction, per CNN. Iran's dominant position in the Middle East, in contrast to conflict-ridden nations like Yemen and Syria, means it stands to gain from regional instability and filling power vacuums. And Iran's activities now serve to further several of its main goals, which includes empowering Palestinians and counteracting American influence in the Middle East, CNN's report read. I'm going to leave this article here. But I just read the article as a base, from a pretty normal website, to show, like, I'm not capping as far as this situation popping off. If the situation gets bad, you'll probably hear about it in another month or so. Or if that's a situation that they want to use as to an excuse as to why your whatever is more expensive, or we got to start censoring because of this. You never know. I mean, it could be emanating from that area, and this might be the beginning stages of it. But you pray for the best always in these situations. Damn, I had my other clip up. This computer's playing me today. Pardon self, guys. Of course, I had my other clip already pulled up, man, and this thing played me. But this area is popping off in a major way. I mean, like, Iran has always been a very sus country to me in my eyes. The fact that Iran, if you talk to most people, they'll tell you that Iran was like popping, that it was the only country in the Middle East pretty much where there was broads dressing regular clubs. They don't have none of that shit in Egypt. They may have a club, and it's probably a sausage fest. But Iran had like clubs, like real like live disco shit in the late 70s up until the Iranian Revolution. When any country goes into a revolution and then starts becoming a battering ram for whatever issue, I always think that, you know, what may have caused that revolution from Jump Street, who may have, were there outside influences, because there always is, that were steering that country to have said revolution. And Iran's one of them. To be a real westernized country in the late 70s to now being, you know, this rival to Saudi Arabia, in the sense of like they're rivals to see who's going to be like the capital of the Islamic religion. Both those countries are contending to be top dogs as far as the capital of the Islamic religion. Iran, in the sense that they feel that they're more purist, Saudi Arabia in the sense that they actually house the Islamic holy sites. But both those countries don't like each other. I mean, both those countries are extremely sus. More so Iran. I mean, I've actually been to Saudi Arabia, so I know a little something of how they operate and whatnot. I've been, but always strikes me as a little bit sus when a country kind of flips the script and then becomes a battering ram to an agenda a couple months later. But who knows? I mean, there's a crazy time to be alive in general. Damn, I had a nice clip pulled up, bro. Like now this thing's playing me. Oh, here it is. And this was part of my second story. Before I get into that, I got some other funny clips that this is from like conservative sites conservative pages on YouTube. On X, formerly known as Twitter. But this is a young lady giving her opinion on MSNBC and popular media in general. Popular media right now, their policy is we'll let you know what the news is, and if you're not with it, you're
that's just for a second.
You're a Trumpist racisms. But it's my next clip here. This young lady's breaking down a Rachel Maddow clip that happened immediately after the Iowa caucuses, which Trump won handedly a couple days ago. I'll get into the clip right now. 1 second. But it's basically Rachel Maddow on MSNBC telling you that they're going to be the ones that disseminate news to you because they know better. But this is it.
That's just for a second. At this point in the evening, the projected winner of the Iowa caucuses has just started giving his victory speech. We will keep an eye on that as it happens. We will let you know if there's any news made in that speech, if there's anything noteworthy, something substantive and important. The reason I'm saying this is, of course, there is a reason that we and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live platform to remarks by former President Trump. It is not out of spite. It is not a decision that we relish. It is a decision that we regularly revisit. And honestly, earnestly, it is not an easy decision, but...
Yeah, sure they do. These people do relish in making that decision of censoring 45, in addition to disseminating information to you. And it's a decision that they absolutely enjoy doing.
A decision that we relish. It is a decision that we regularly revisit.
They don't revisit shit.
And honestly, earnestly, it is not an easy decision, but there is a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things. That is a fundamental...
Yeah, the cost is that nobody's tuning into this shitty news no more.
Truth of our business as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things. That is a
look what this broad says.
Not an easy decision, but there is a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things.
There's a cost to this organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things. like Russiagate, like Safe and Effective, like Rachel Maddow said herself, the COVID dies with the every person in every person who receives one of these doses of tea. That's not true. I mean, they ain't double back and rectify that, but not letting you know of a big political happening in the country because somebody they're rooting for is not the victor. Totally cool.
That is a fundamental truth of our business and who we are. And so his remarks tonight will not air here live. We will monitor them and let you know about.
So they will monitor it for us and they will let us know if there's anything noteworthy. They'll let us know rather than just playing the speech, being a network that informs people and lets us hear from the winner of that evening. They decided that we're too stupid to hear it and make up our own minds about whether, you know, the information is truthful or not. And this is the democracy they speak of. How is this different from certain countries who filter everything so that people don't get the information that's out there? How is this any different?
Not different at all, sis. So the countries don't filter the information in the examples in which you given, sis. The corporations do. The corporations are the ones that filter the information. But as we've seen with the Twitter files, the country, this country that I'm sitting in as we speak, puts pressure on these big media corporations or big tech corporations to report things a certain way, to censor certain individuals. So, I mean, we're pretty much getting a brand of fascism in that corporations are working hand in hand with governments, all at the same time in which these corporations are falling apart and the government is looking shittier and shittier by the day. And I think most people agree with that sentiment. But let me get into another clip. This is from Reno, Nevada. Oh, my man Oliver's new home state. Glad you moved out there. Or as far as Nevada. But this is the Washoe County. I guess this is the county that houses Reno, and they have a board meeting or county commission meeting, and it opens up with the invocation by Reno by a satanic church, I guess. I'm gonna play the clip now, and I'm gonna say funny, not a funny story, a crazy story, not a crazy story, but something that happened when I was watching this clip yesterday that was otherworldly.
We will now move into the invocation. Today we have Mr. Jason Miller. Come on up.
Thank you for letting us here. My name is Jason. I am an organizer and founder of Reno Satanic, and I am here to give the invocation today. Let us begin. In nomine de nostris Satanis Luciferi Excelsi, in the name of the eternal rebel against tyrannical authority, in the spirit of your nature of the natural world, the freedoms of thought and expression, unprejudiced intellectual inquiry, economics and social.
Look at these people peeping them. This lovely couple here. In addition to this guy, I mean, this guy is just bemused, and he just starts recording.
In the spirit of your nature of the natural world, the freedoms of thought and expression, unprejudiced intellectual inquiry, economics and social progress, to bring influence and guiding actions of nobility and justice to the decisions made in this chamber today. To act with might in the undertaking of responsibility that may lay ahead of this body before us today. The new age is dawning that these decisions will play a role in. For our liberation, for here and now is our day of joy. Here and now is our opportunity. May we seize this glorious day and its enchanting nights to celebrate the wonders of the natural world, as we are all part of its boundless mysteries. And the spirit of the unconquerable sun, the bringer of light and knowledge, we say, Shemham Farash, hail Satan.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we will now move to public comment. Item number 4. I'm sorry, Mr. Manager, please lead us into item number 4, public comment.
Dorks, straight dorks. But we'll go to one of those board meetings and say you want to do some sort of Christian, whatever have you, and people look at you like they want to beat you up. But come and make up a religion like this ponytail individual did, or subscribe to a religion whose basic existence is banging on or being the opposite of Christianity. I'm not Christian either, or a defender of Christianity in that sense. I mean, what's fair is fair, though. You get away with making fun of Christianity, but people make it seem like it's a no-go zone to touch on the God of Islam, or it's a no-go zone to touch on the religion of COVID, the religion of the LGBT rainbow mafia, the religion of whatever have you. You can't touch on these things, even when they're debunked. Thanks. Glad to be here. No, definitely, man. Even when they're debunked or even when they look stupid, you can't touch on them because it's popular not to. Or, I mean, Christianity could be a punching bag by non-Christians, and that's all good. But let me get to my last story, and this is regarding Trump and the central bank digital currencies. If you guys aren't in the know, central bank digital currencies are a new form of currency that wants to be introduced here and around the world. And it's basically what it sounds like. It's digital currency that's issued by a central bank. I'm not sure if they're going to change the name of the Federal Reserve, which is our central bank of note here in America at this current juncture. I don't know why they didn't say Federal Reserve, central bank, bank digital currency. They went with central bank digital currency, which people have blamed the Federal Reserve of being a central bank to now going into naming a digital currency, which is something that most people don't trust as is. Say what you want. I mean, I'm invested a little bit into crypto still. I mean, I don't propose for other people to do it. Nothing I say is financial advice, but I do know Bitcoin. I know somebody who has a lot of money from Bitcoin, from 2011. Lots of money from Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is not the crypto or one of the cryptos that I invest in much, but I do know cryptocurrencies. But if I speak to somebody about cryptocurrency, 25% of the people may have some sort of interest in it or trust in it. 75% of the people shit on it. I mean, and that's anybody's opinion. I'm not here defending it. But to en masse introduce a central bank digital currency, which is being proposed all over the place by the powers that be, and not many people are much up in arms, it's a cause for concern. But my reservations with a central bank digital currency is that with something like that, if you get in trouble for bad speak and the powers that be want to stop your access to your digital currency, I mean, who's to stop them? There's corporations right now. I think T-Mobile is one of them, and I actually have T-Mobile for my cellular phone. But corporations like T-Mobile are suggesting giving fines to people that are sharing bad information while using their phone service. I mean, that's already being floated out. I don't know what they considered bad speak on their phone service, but to give that power to somebody who not only could control your phone, but could also control whether you pay your rent or not, whether you get gas, whether you buy food, that's a little bit more of a danger to propose. Central bank digital currencies are no bueno. Cryptocurrencies that are issued by the government are just as bad. Tether, for that same, Tether, in addition to what's that other one that everybody likes? I forgot. There's a crypto. No, it's not Tether. It's Tether and is a BS crypto, but I'll think of it as I'm doing this. But anything that works with banking in the cryptocurrency field is a no-go. The government central bank, which has no name at this current juncture, proposing that we're going to make a cryptocurrency for everybody to forcefully adopt is doubly bad. But Trump, on the heels of winning his Iowa caucus, made a statement regarding cryptocurrencies, which I'm going to read now, and it's inspiring. If Trump does things that I don't agree with, I'm going to cover them here too. But he hasn't done much of that lately, besides being the person who ushered out the doses of the tea that was mandated for everybody to drink a couple months ago. Trump was the one that cut through the red tape and made that happen. Does he have his reasons? I'm not sure. Hopefully he'll tell us. But he wasn't forcing anybody to take it, so I'm not tripping on it like that. It's not a major hang up. It is a major hang up, but it's better than the other options that we have. But this is not getting into my CBDC story. This is from Politico, shitty newspaper, and it's called Tyranny. Trump vows to block any Fed effort to launch digital currency. The Fed has not decided whether to make a full digital version of the U.S. dollar. See, they got to put the cool highlight headline, which makes Trump look okay, to putting a little bit of doubt in the air and saying that the Fed has not decided whether to make a fully digital version of the U.S. dollar or not. Good for them. I mean, are they talking about it? Yes. Do they have the machinations to make it happen? Yes. See, former President Donald Trump said that if elected, he would not allow the Federal Reserve to create a digital dollar, in a potential blow to proponents who say such a move would make the payment system more efficient. So we have a problem with efficient payment systems. Give me a break. SWIFT is not efficient, yet we still make it happen with the SWIFT system. And ask Russia if the SWIFT system is effective or not. And I quote from Trump: "Tonight, I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny," Trump said Wednesday in New Hampshire before the state's primary election next week. "As your president, I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency." Mic drop. Politico says that the Fed has not decided whether to make a full digital version of the U.S. dollar, though it has been conducting research that suggests such a move would be technologically feasible. Chair Jerome Powell has said the central bank would not take such a step without explicit buy-in from Congress and the executive branch. The prospect of a digital dollar that is available to the public has become increasingly politically toxic. It became politically increasingly toxic because Trump probably brought it up, and according to these writers. Let me continue. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, one of Trump's opponents in the primary, has vocally opposed establishing a central bank digital currency, going so far as to preemptively ban them in his state. He warned that the federal government could someday use the digital dollar to surveil how Americans spend, in line with how China has been using its own nascent central bank digital currency. It's actually a good point, even though I don't agree much with Ronnie. Fed officials have not settled on how exactly a CBDC would be designed, though they said in a 2021 paper that they are envisioning a token that would be held in digital wallets run by banks or other regulated financial firms, rather than allowing ordinary Americans to have deposits directly at the central bank. The proposal suggests that banks themselves would retain responsibility for safeguarding transaction information with the same sort of requirements to report suspicious payments under monetary laundering rules. It's just adding another layer of complication then. Quote, protecting consumer privacy is critical, the Fed said in that paper. Any central bank digital currency would need to strike an appropriate balance, however, between safeguarding the privacy rights of consumers and affording the transparency necessary to deter criminal activity. Now, this stupid Politico, what they're doing is that they keep referring back to this paper that the Fed made in 2021 regarding central bank digital currency. Why not talk to somebody regarding that issue right fucking now? Whether that person be in the Fed or somebody with expertise in the field. Don't go back to a paper that was made in 2021 to discuss an issue that it relates to a quote made by the front runner for the presidency of the United States, Donald Trump. Don't use a paper from 2021 to discuss something that Donald Trump opposes in 2024. It's also possible that a digital dollar would be created for only for payments between banks to, for example, reduce the cost of transactions across borders. It's people creating a problem where there is no problem, but it's not that they're creating the problem. They're creating a control structure, one of many. And it's good that Trump is calling it out, if only to give people some pause to say, what the hell is a central bank digital currency? I mean, if you ask 1 out of 20 people outside, maybe one of them is going to know what a central bank digital currency is. But when you have the illest villain that's ever been created on this earth, according to the regular media, giving his opposition to a central bank digital currency, then good or bad, people are going to talk about it. And from my perspective, not because I like Trump, but because I dislike the prospects of a central bank digital currency happening here in America, I think Trump's stance on it, shooting it down, I mean, that's fantastic news. I didn't cover a lot of the Iowa caucuses the other day, but I'm just going to freestyle with that. I don't have no clips to bring up. I don't think a lot of people didn't anticipate Trump winning. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I do think that the conservative ink, if you will, the swamp, if you will, as it relates to the Republican Party members of the swamp, or the powers that be that run the conservatives in DC, which probably also run the Democrats, they definitely weren't putting money behind Trump to run as the Republican frontrunner. They were putting money behind Ron DeSantis. That was their first guy that they were pushing out. Big money conservatives. Ron DeSantis was losing a lot of luster, and now they're trying to push out Nikki Haley. I mean, I've had the chance to meet Nikki Haley, nice woman, but not judging off me meeting her, am I saying this? But she just doesn't seem like a qualified politician to become president at this current juncture, especially. I mean, things are too dangerous. This is the most important election of your lifetime. I'm not doing this as a speech or campaigning for Trump, but this is the most important election of our lifetime. These are the craziest times probably ever. It's the craziest time since I've been on this earth, and I'm a lot older than you cats that are on here. Peace to Marq Nash. Thanks for coming through. And if you guys please go subscribe to Marq Nash. Yo, Marq Nash, I never peeped that jacket you got, bro. I just found a great store today that sells only leathers. They had a little first section too. They had a Sherlin's, a lot of that stuff. Damn, it's called Brick City Leathers. I just talked to the owner, Eddie, today. First time I went in there, real cool. But anyhow, Conservative Inc. or the powers that be in the Conservative Party were pushing Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis became an enemy of the MAGA movement just for running against Trump. Nikki Haley wasn't really an ally of the MAGA movement that in most people's eyes. Now she's an ethema of the MAGA movement. So, and I know between both those two candidates, if my numbers serve me correct, the money that was put for Ron DeSantis to run for the presidency that he's already put out there and used for commercials and campaigning, I think it's $59 million. The money that they've put up for Nikki Haley, which I haven't seen one commercial for Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis for that matter, supposedly surpasses that. I think it's like $68 million they put behind Nikki Haley. But that just goes to show you, I mean, the powers that be that run so-called conservatives behind the scenes don't want Trump in there. The powers that be that control the media don't want Trump in there. The powers that be from the Democratic Party don't want Trump in there. All government doesn't want Trump in there. Most people that I don't like on TV don't want Trump in there. That's an endorsement for me on its own. But the way things are going nuts, I think 2024 is already starting off to be one of the craziest years on record out the gate. It's going to be super interesting with all these powers that be that are kind of like moving against Trump, whether outwardly, behind the scenes. And he still, at least in terms of Iowa, was able to win the Iowa caucuses in record number. The biggest disparity between two conservative candidates was like 28%. I think Trump smoked it. I think got a difference of over 30-something% in the Iowa caucuses between him and his closest competitors. Vivek Ramaswamy, after the Iowa caucuses, stepped down from running and used that opportunity to endorse Trump in New Hampshire, which is another important state for Trump to win. Iowa, New Hampshire, all these states are pivotal because they're sort of like a bellwether as to what could happen down the line, like when these candidates do ultimately run in November. But they're also bellwethers in the sense, in terms of a state, because they're not big states and they're pretty much even between Republican voters and Democrat voters in those respective states. So these caucuses are important to find out which Republican is really going to be that dude. And right now, I mean, they may not be telling you, but Trump is that dude. Barring a force majeure kind of incident, force majeure could be some sort of natural thing that happens that stops Trump from running. In addition to Trump getting arrested or some shit like that, I think all of Trump's cases that he has right now, the 4 of them in New York, Georgia, Washington, D.C., and in Florida are all bogus, every one of them. But do I see Trump going to jail behind one of them? It could be. I mean, does him going to jail make him guilty? Absolutely not. But we're here now. I mean, this is what politics has become. And hopefully I'm here to report it all, even on days like today where I just don't feel like doing it. But let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please subscribe to my man, Marq Nash. Fantastic boxing content. Music also as well. From the same era as me. Also, shout out to my man, Oliver Nunez. I hope you get back into the gym soon, too. Want to go to one of your fights in Vegas. No, all of them are bogus. How? We saw the documents leaving his home. Yeah, I mean, like, which documents are you talking about, though? In Mar-a-Lago? But they took pictures of those documents. We also heard the tapes of him talking to the Secretary of State, or to the Georgia Secretary of State. Yeah, that's when he said about finding the votes. But if you look at some of that case in Georgia as we speak now, too, I mean, I don't want to go heavy duty as far, like, because I don't want to get this channel kiboshed, but there was an instance, I believe, for not in-person votes, or I think like military votes. And I think the number equaled to like 30,000 people, that group of ballots, I guess, that were accounted for that fell all under the same group. Like, so I think it was like for people that are serving in the military that voted out of state, something to that effect, that were all lost. And that's not the only instance of that. But the Georgia thing is not done yet. I mean, Raffensperger is a grimy ass dude too, the Secretary of State in Georgia, or the governor of Georgia. Even though he's a Republican, he's working against Trump. And, you know, we're just getting the beginnings of these cases. If you look at Wisconsin's case too, in relation to, because it's very similar to Georgia's case, Wisconsin's stance on what happened in 2020 is pretty much in line with what Trump is saying was happening from Jump Street, or his stance in terms of that election. But you have a very similar case to Georgia's case, and all of a sudden Georgia's case is looking not so very shaky. Fannie Willis is looking shaky. I don't know if you peeped that story. I think you live in Georgia too, but I don't know if you've been tracking that too. Fannie Willis got bagged up for paying a dude who didn't have any cases under his belt, that she was involved with romantically, as the special counsel for the Trump case. But she paid his firm, or him individually, $500,000 or $600,000. And they're also have a record of that individual, in addition to Fannie Willis, meeting with the White House. I mean, this is all like coming out in small trickles, in addition to not really coming out on popular media. But in 2024, I mean, I'm pretty sure that these stories are going to become more metastasized, especially when we actually get to litigating these cases. But my prediction is that unless they try to go and come out of left field and lock up Trump, that he's not going to get locked up. And even if he does get locked up, I still think he's going to be running. But they're going to have to Marq dude to get him out of the position. I mean, that's my estimation. Do I discount that notion? No, I don't want to see. I could see anybody getting Marq, anybody get hit out here. But I don't want to see any of that. That's going to be bananas. Let me see. Even if that number equals 1 million, he can't call the Secretary of State. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether he could call the, like, what the rules are in terms of like calling a Secretary of State. But I'm pretty sure it's been done in the past. Who knows? Let me see. Y'all could put the link up. Marq Nash, you can come through. She could give him 2 in the courtroom. Has zero to do with his guilt, correct? She could give. I'm sorry. Let me see. I don't like Biden either. Don't get it twisted. Nah, I don't think you like Biden. But I think a lot of let me see. Top. Sloppy toppies. Let me see. Let me read that again. I don't. She could give him top in the courtroom. Has zero to do with his guilt. Correct? No, absolutely not. But if you, I mean, if my only thing too with what's being thrown out there now is the whole like fact that she gave that bread to dude. I mean, like, even though that is grimy, I mean, like, because that's a lot of money, and that's tax money. That's Georgia's tax money that's being allocated to money that's being used to go after Trump in a legal sense. Is $600,000 a lot of money? Yeah, I mean, to me it is. But does that make or break anything? No, but I mean, unless you're looking at it with a different from a different. Oh, I'll put the link out right now. Hold on. But give me 1 second, Mark. My bad. Throw it up. Yeah, there's a link if you or anybody else wants to jump on. Pause. Feel free. But do I think as in terms of the bigger thing in terms of the Georgia case, and this is not with the New York case from what I've seen yet, is that there's actually proof of visits of that gentleman that Fannie Willis was seeing, the lawyer that had special counsel in the Trump case that she employed, that she paid $600,000 to, that he and Fannie Willis visited the White House leading up to this case. I mean, some people view it as they were getting instructions at the federal level to run this case at a state level. So it's a bad look. I mean, like to me, it's a bad look. I mean, it strikes me as sus for something to go down in that fashion. And then, all these cases pretty much started popping up. If you do the math, they all started popping up right around the time or right after Trump announced his candidacy for 2024. Maybe in 2024, this year, since this is the year of the truth. 1 second. Since this is the year of revelations popping off and us knowing things that were kind of hidden in a little bit of an underlayer, i.e. Cat Williams, i.e. the tunnel found under the synagogue, i.e. a little bit more of a release of the Epstein list. Maybe you get a little bit more of a solidified version as to what happened with these cases that were brought up against Trump in 2024. But thank you, Marq Nash, for coming through. Marq Nash channel I love and respect very much. I'm a big fan of your channel, even when I don't comment. I always listen to your channel on the low at night. Pause. But I love your work. I love your impressions too. You do not just the DMX impression. Whenever you recite a song over, you always do it on point. But I have a lot of love for your channel. I have a lot of love for your insight. So break it down, my brother. What do you feel in relation to the Georgia case, especially? I think you're based out of Georgia, if I remember correctly.
That is correct. How you doing, sir? I appreciate the warm words and the hell of an intro, man. It's probably the best intro I ever got, man.
I got more where that came from. Anytime you come through, I'll draw up an even bigger one. Now, but you are based out of Georgia, though, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's my audio?
Excellent. And I know you're an audiophile like me, but no, your audio sounds good though.
Okay. Well, I actually wanted to pick your brain some more, if I may. Now, you said all the cases, you think they're all bogus. And I just want you to elaborate on that a little bit, because some of the stuff he's already been found guilty of, like the civil case with the young lady, and I think they're going through damages. The Trump organization, a lot of these things they did them, or they've been found guilty by a group of their peers.
Which civil case were you referring to? I'm sorry.
The one with the lady, the female, pretty much said he took some decent liberties with indecent liberties with her. You know what I mean? And then he denied it, called her a liar. She sued him.
Yeah, that old E. Jean Carroll, I think her name is, the old lady, or the older lady. Yeah. I think that's being litigated as we speak now. And right before I came onto the stream, they were talking about it too.
What amount of damages is being litigated? But he's already been found guilty in the civil suit.
In that case, yeah. But that's the thing, though, too. In my eyes, real quick, and the getting a guilty charge, especially with how I'm seeing how the courts are running, whether it's politically charged. I mean, it may have hit a lot more for me in the past. Nowadays, it's I don't know. If somebody were to say that Trump were guilty, on not just because I like Trump, but I do see that there is a little bit of a motivation to find Trump guilty of anything. Honestly, it looks like, and like it seems like less and less like these cases are hitting. I mean, more and more that these cases seem to be hitting less and less. Like people's losing interest for them. The media barely covers them. But you asked me a question. What like in terms of those cases, the lady's case, as far as for the civil damages, I mean, like doesn't really mean much. I mean, like her story's kind of like has a lot of holes in it from jump too. Like she actually talked glowingly of Trump after that supposed incident happened. It hasn't been made much of in the news, but in terms of that case, I haven't really looked hard bodying it. But his guilt.
What about the election interference? Because we hear him on the tape telling the guy, "Find these votes." Amount of votes you can't. That's interference. Call Secretary of State telling.
It was breaking up a little bit at the tail end, but you said like when he called Raffensperger to find the votes.
State, it's not just the state saying he did it. His co-conspirators have allocated to their crimes and admitted that they did this and you know to under his guys. They took deals.
Which co-conspirator?
I mean, it's not just one. It's not just one, bro. Pretty much everybody on that Trump list has taken deals. Did you know that?
No,
the RICO case that they had against him in Georgia, it ain't all 17 of them on trial no more. It's like 15 people have taken a deal, I think. Probably just him and that one person, I think. I look into it, but most of these people have taken deals.
Yeah, I mean, and still too, I mean, like that in the long term, in relation to Trump, it doesn't mean much. Like I know it's a RICO case, and I know a lot of the like Jenna Ellis like wasn't fucking with Trump, like right after she left his staff. She's endorsed DeSantis right after she left his staff too, but she's had bad stuff to say in relation to Trump. But none of what like these people have pled to kind of like ties into Trump directly in that he's like telling them like, you know, go do this or go find that. The main thing with
we don't know that, sir. To be fair, that's his defense. You're speaking that as that's a fact.
But you don't think they would have come up with that? Like,
it's quiet. It's for the most part, all of their statements have been sealed. For the most part, they've made deals though. They've made a deal. You don't make a deal and don't get a prosecutor what they're looking for. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, depends though.
To make this deal, the RICO got him at the top. What you think they made a deal and they just didn't flip? They didn't flip on Trump, and they was giving these sweetheart deals without giving them what they need against the principal person, where the charges are going to be filed against. You know more than that about the criminal case, the court system. You know they ain't do that.
It's still hazy though, because if they would have had him on something, I think they would have yapped him up already. Like any other
bro, it's a look. They already yapped him up. He got a mug shot. They taking him to trial. It's not like they're just talking about it. This is a court case going on right now. These are witnesses that plan on being called one day, right?
It still don't mean much though. I mean, we're still at the early cases of a
absolutely, really but we can't say they don't have nothing or blah blah blah. They would have backed them up, bro. They already charged them. They got the former president to come in and take a damn mugshot and get fingerprinted, bro. They gotta have something. You got a boss over you, and your boss got a boss over you. They're not doing this shit, and they have zero evidence. You got to know that.
Oh, I'm not saying.
You know how many layers of protection that goes through that? How many judges got to be involved to get some shit like this done? And now you get the people, all the co-conspirators, in there taking deals and flipping. And let me just ask you this, and I just want you full disclosure.
Shoot.
Because I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't like Donald Trump, and I don't like Joe Biden either. But you sound, and all the years I've known you since 2020, you've been pretty much a pro-Trump guy.
Yeah.
Do you think your biases have blinded you a little bit? Is it possible?
I could see where it could be argued in that direction, but I mean, I look into these things every day. I can't bring them up verbatim, but no, not one bit. I mean, I've never been like politically charged like that. Never really like, got out and like was nuts about any sort of candidate. What got me riding for Trump for the most part is like the hate that he really he receives from the powers that be. If they're saying to the populace, don't listen to him, I'm usually gonna listen to him. You know what I'm saying? Or if the major media is telling you, oh, this is all BS, I'm at least gonna see like, all right, is this BS? But in 2016, I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for anybody. But 2019 is when I started coming around to Trump. So I came late to the party, but it's never been on like that where anybody politically blinds me to anything like in that vein. I have looked into a lot of these cases though. Georgia, one of them, in addition to the case in New York, super shaky, both of them. But the New York case and the Georgia case, they both look really shaky. And what you said regarding the people pleading out and like turning on Trump, I know that there's Jenna Ellis that was speaking a little bit funny on Trump in the Georgia case, but I haven't seen the other dudes give it up like that. Unless you want to show me maybe, or like you could send me after the fact, but now I don't care.
Yeah, put your email in the private chat, man, and I'll screenshot it. Okay. So I can send you the stuff I got. Or I'll put mine. Matter of fact, I'll put mine in the private chat, and you can just send me yours so it'll just be the straight link. I'll be typing stuff wrong.
Word up. But no, I mean, and again too, I mean, I've given a little. You may not know my background like that, but as far as like my background, I'm 100% like grew up, not Democrat, but I grew up in a liberal city, New York, Sunset, Brooklyn. I've had I've been
rocking with you, man. I seen you do the videos through your old hood, show me what dudes got stabbed at, and all of that stuff. You remember doing that video with the tours?
No, and I've never been involved. I've been involved like as far as community work, attending town hall meetings like that were done in Sunset Park in Brooklyn, and I wouldn't come on the.
But you changed, foul player. You've been getting to the money doing your real estate now. You changed, baby.
Nah, never that. Never that.
You get into that bag now, so you gotta vote Republican and conservative. And
no, I'm not short-sighted like that too. I mean, and most of the money I make, I mean, like I try to get it where the man can't get a taste after the fact. But so I'm not one that's gonna be affected in a monetary sense, besides like the prices I see in stores. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get affected like in my taxes, so to say, much. But nothing. The only thing that's changed is, I mean, like the hood's changed. Like, and honestly too, like when I was talking about Trump in 2020, even in my hood, like dudes that respected me would look at me sideways. Some of these same dudes now, like, hell yeah, I'm voting for Trump. Like in 2023 and like now this year in 2024, my whole like, if you bring up Biden, like you probably get just as much sideways look as if you brought up Trump. And my neighborhood is straight up like Spanish and black, and you get that effect all over New York.
Oh my God, Biden is so trash, bro. He's the worst.
He's racist too. I mean, historically racist. I mean,
in my mind, I think all the motherfuckers are racist. Really, Trump is historically racist. He's literally his Trump org got sued for being racist against black folks in the 70s and 80s for the housing shit. Was it late 70s, early 80s for housing discrimination against blacks? So
yeah.
I mean, it's like, who's more racist? You want your racist closet, or you want your racism right in front of your face?
Right in front of my face. That's one thing with me. I'd rather somebody tell me what, like, throw it up. I'd rather my gangs be red and blue. I'd rather my gangs be wearing beads and identifying themselves than like somebody telling me they got love for me, like and then working against my interests behind the scenes.
Well, I think Man, I just don't like Joe. Man, the Democrats are just so dumb. Like they don't realize this guy's gonna lose. He's gonna lose to whoever he's running against. He loses all the polls I've seen right now. He loses to Trump and Nikki Haley. You get what I'm saying? He's
Yo,
trash,
Mark,
and he's losing the young vote due to this blind support for Israel. And they're clearly gone way above and beyond of. We got the right to defend ourselves, man. Y'all ain't defending yourself no more, bro. This is just
genocide.
I didn't want to say it on your channel. I didn't want to,
No,
but
it's what it. I mean, it's what it is.
it
Though.
is
I
what
mean,
it is, bro.
at
It's
this point, the
genocide,
line
bro.
is
This
clearly.
is crazy. And I was a soldier, bro, for 6 years, 4 years active, 2 years reserve, combat medic, and
Thank you for your service.
yeah, man, shoot. Yeah, shoot. They need to figure out send me the rest of my bread. That's what they need. That's how I feel. Thanks to my service, paid me. I want my 100%. But just to see what's going on over there, bro. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. And to keep it a buck, like, bro, I'm a generational soldier, right? Basically, like a member of my family has fought in every war this country has ever had.
Respect.
From the beginning, every single war, right? And to see these kind of atrocities go down with our flag and our American dollars. Yo, they just shot down this bill that Bernie Sanders I saw Bernie Sanders trying to push this bill in the Senate a couple weeks ago. Man, they shot that thing down already. It was like the vote was like, what was it, like 77 to 11, something like that. It was something crazy. And all he was saying was, hey, look, before we need to make sure the people we're sending our money, aid, resources, weapons to aren't committing, human rights violations. Don't think that's a lot to ask, right? Like, we're not doing it. We can't give you weapons and money and you do this. And out of 100 Senate, come on, bro. Only 11 people say, hey, yeah, you know what? Damn, somebody done lost that little toy Yorkie out here. And it's nighttime too. He better get somewhere. It's gonna be an owl or a hawk gonna eat his ass. They're gonna think he's a little rabbit. But they just man, it's just disgusting, man. And it's like it goes to that theory that we always heard that who owns the World Bank. Basically, if you own the World Bank and America is in your debt, technically, is America giving Israel money or is it giving them back their own money? You get what I'm saying? If you want to go deep with it, but
no,
yeah, man,
that's a big time hustle. Like, I mean, and we're being hustled in that transaction. With all these, and I gotta I'm gonna do a little bit of an expose that I got working on right now regarding the country in question as it relates to the migrant crisis. It's some scary shit happening right now, bro. And that's just like from stuff that I know here in New York, like where they're on the ground making that stuff pop off. And if that migrant crisis affecting anybody more than anybody in America, in Chicago and New York, it's Black and Spanish people. We're getting jerked on that transaction.
Absolutely.
And
they're pulling resources from we definitely getting resources that we're gonna miss out on.
Yeah, and I mean, we may be financing that stuff with the country that you just mentioned. I mean, from this expose that I'm gonna be trying to do here shortly. But going back to what you said regarding this election coming up, though, and there's a question or not a question, but this is a scenario which I could see playing out in that if things stay running as they are and Biden shows himself as he is now, maybe worse. It seems to be worsening a little bit. What if he wins by even bigger numbers in this coming election? That's what I think is going to be banana, and I could see that happening.
Who wins?
My man's Big Joe, Power Joe Biden, bro. Like
Genocide Joe. Oh, nah, bro. He's losing, bro. He's losing to Trump.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
And I could see that happening.
I don't think he'll make it through 4 years. Shit.
Oh no, he's not. I'm just saying that people are gonna bug out because he won. Like, Joe had a little bit of gas, like no gas running for him going into the last election. Besides bad talk about Trump. Now, I mean, even in the hood, like
What helped them too was that the COVID, the response to COVID.
Yeah, but I mean, unless we pop off another COVID but if things stay as is, I could totally see Joe Biden winning by record numbers like he won last time. Like
I totally disagree. And the way things going right now, because when it comes down to him and Trump, people are gonna pick Trump, bro, because some people, a lot of the country believes basically he didn't keep his promises before. Why would I put you in before? Like, they didn't even try to do the $15 minimum wage. They didn't even try.
Or legalizing weed.
But he was able to circumvent Congress to get that money to the our people over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and legalizing bud. Yeah, like everybody everybody thought that we would legalize bud by now just off GP. I mean, it's not the pivotal.
Or at least decriminalize it. Right, decriminalize it, man.
But like, and going back to what I said too, I still think that the people are picking Trump because of Joe Biden just throwing up L's every day. But I still think that Joe Biden could win if you could read into what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's gonna make people have that come to God moment if my theory plays out.
What you think they're gonna hack the vote?
I don't want to say all that, but
you can say that, Council.
I don't know. But no, they've been playing me on this channel, man. Like I in the beginning of the stream, I said that I've been posting up my live streams and they'll say pending for like 2 days, man. Killing me, YouTube.
Pending what? What you mean?
Like you know, when you upload a video or something, it'll say like that. It'll give like a rundown of like how much percentage has to be uploaded, and then it'll get to another section that'll say processing or pending.
Oh, because it's checking it.
Yeah.
Now, what have you been titling your videos?
I don't remember. I've taken the last 2 down because it was processing for like 2 days. So I don't know if they're trying to put the kibosh on your boy or like.
Is it the title? Is it the hashtags? Is it the thumbnail?
I don't know. It could be that Jewish synagogue cave video that I put up too, because
you think?
My YouTube's been acting funny since then, man. I'm gonna do, and now on purpose, I'm gonna go right to Crown Heights and see my man Hood on the Eastern and do that Crown Heights video live and in the flesh. I mean, hopefully.
Man, what's your take on that? What the hell was they doing in New York City with them tunnels, dog?
Well, if you didn't know, Mark, that organization in New York, because they would put up posters of an old guy since I was a kid, since I was like in the 90s. Like they would put pictures of this Jewish old guy, like skinny, small guy. And he actually was the one that was the head of that organization. And he was alive in the 90s, like, because this organization is in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. So you would see that all over Brooklyn. Sometimes they'd show it on the news. And it was news when that guy died. He died like in the mid 90s. He was like 90 something years old. They think that guy is the Messiah, that group. But that group.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but like 1 out of 5 people from that country, they don't follow that group, but they respect them. But that group, the head of that group, the one that they thought that was the Messiah, supposedly told Benjamin Netanyahu, that when the Messiah returned to earth, that Benjamin Netanyahu was going to be in charge of Israel at that time, so that he wanted him to stay in charge of Israel, and that Netanyahu took it to heart. But they're super, super, super powerful. They actually had a vice president candidate, Joseph Lieberman, saying that they had more influence than the CIA. He's giving them props, though, on stage. I played that in one of my last videos, too, where he's saying that group, the Shabbat Lubavitch, has more influence than the CIA. And in the crowd with them was the director of the CIA during that time. This was like in the 2000s or late 90s again. So they're super powerful. I mean, even though that place, if you looked at it, it ain't look like fancy. It looked like wooden panelings and bullshit. But that tunnel situation, what they're talking about, like that's a bunch of cap, because they would have shown the whole shit. If you want to get people not to talk about it, show every bit. Like what you see is like them exploring the tunnel, and then it stops. But I know construction too, and I've had to dig out very minimal things, and it's a pain in the ass to dig out basements because you pretty much doing shit by hand and taking shit out by hand. You ain't gonna make no tunnel like that with reinforced cement and all that shit with some teenage kids trying to get to a bathhouse. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, they said we did that. And right, and that wasn't done by one or two people. That was a group effort, and that was done over a long period of time. That wasn't just, oh, we did this during COVID. Bro, they dug a tunnel through a building to get to another building. And if it was just to worship during COVID, okay, cool. Y'all ain't quarantined no more. Why do y'all tripping because the people want to concrete it up? I ain't gonna lie, man. I think it's something nefarious was going on. And I was just keeping it a buck. Let that been First Missionary Baptist Church.
Oh no, they would have rolled on
with Bishop Williams at the top of the church. Man, they would have locked all of them niggas up, bro.
Ebenezer Baptist, like
First Cavalry Missionary Baptist sitting on Martin Luther King Boulevard on any city in the country.
Like
MLK anywhere in America. Yeah, they locking all them niggas up. Yeah.
A church similar to where my man I Am Trill will be banging them keyboard keys every Sunday. They would have been rolled up.
I ain't got nothing to do with
that. I know. That was me. That was all me.
Yeah, but, I stay out of all of that shit, bro.
But my hood too. If you look it up.
By the way, though, I met him twice though in real life. He was real cool. I ain't even gonna care. Yeah, I met him twice. I met him here in Atlanta at a fight. One time, it was Tank Davis versus. I saw him at the Tank Davis versus Barrios, and I saw him at the Shakur fight.
Oh,
we was taking two people apart from the Shakur fight. We was like on row 3.
I gotta go to these fights, man. I would love to see that dude in person. I'm only bringing him up to. I don't have no real anonymity for him. He's a herb, but he lied on me type shit. Like I don't care if you say I'm a bitch ass, whatever. Like that's. But don't lie on me and be like, oh, I talked to you and said and you, like he was making it seem like I was copping a plea to get some internet dude off me. Like I would break him and the other cat that he was talking about. Like but. To help
that's gonna be weird to me, bro. All of that shit, bro.
No, but going back to that group, like Sunset Park is right next, like my hood, Sunset is right next to Borough Park, which is the second biggest Jewish neighborhood probably in the country. But I've always seen how they get down. You can't really mess with that community like that. Like they had in my neighborhood, in the neighborhood next to mine. One of them started spazzing out and he took a machete and went after the cops. And the cop had to shoot him. He ain't die either. He lived. But they tore up the borders of the neighborhood. They were flipping cop cars over and all that. They ain't reported on the news either. Fires. But you really can't. They give you the impression that if you can't really touch this. So like that story was suspect to me too because the cops went in there. Like the cops normally wouldn't go up into a church like that, like one of theirs, ever. Like if I'll give you another instance. Like if somebody of theirs got caught doing a regular small crime and the cops try to bust them, like in their turf, they wouldn't let the cops manually take that touch that person. They'll grab the cops like in a non-violent fashion and like to where like, and then that person will just run away. And nobody gets arrested. That's how like they move. I've seen them move in a lot more grimy ways than that, but that's just the power that you will. That they don't really get like fucked with like that by the NYPD or by the powers that be in New York. But for them to have that little nugget put out there for that group, which that group has been around since this country's been around, 1777, I think that group got established. And that guy who they thought was the Messiah was running that group out of that same place in Brooklyn since 1955. So there's a lot of allure to that group, and that story pretty much went away. But we'll, I guess, see more hopefully in 2024.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yo, Mark, are you going live this evening?
Man, I want to. I should be, man. I'm recovering from COVID, man. I got that shit last Saturday, man. And I've been messed up all week. Today, last night / going towards today, the first time I actually even felt like even moving around. You know what I'm saying? I had the body aches and the fevers and the chills, the whole nine. Yo, she was crazy, yo. She was mad ill. But
Yeah.
I feel a lot better now. I want to go live tonight. I just sometimes only be honest too, man. Doing the live shit sometimes, as much as I enjoy doing it, some days I just be like, do I really feel like arguing with strangers on the internet today? Like, because a lot of times people don't want to have conversations. It's like everything turns into a debate. You know, we in that space here where everybody wants to do a debate or a free smoke or I cooked you. You know, people don't even people look for gotcha moments in conversations instead of exchanging information, you know? And that shit gets a little redundant to somebody of my ilk. And I was like, I might just, I can get my shit off, just record a video, drop my shit, make a thumbnail, do another one about another topic. Cause I got a lot of interest too outside of boxing, as you can see and hear, if you follow the show, I don't just like to talk about boxing.
Nah,
And then some conversations, like I can't even have an open panel on because people are so toxic. You know what I'm saying? We can't even have a productive conversation. You guys gonna get me shut down. You know what I'm saying? And they don't care. You know what I'm saying? I remember, yeah, man. I ain't even trying to go too far, but yeah, people can't get past their self sometimes, and instead of they'll burn it all down just to get their bars off. And I'm like, bro, we ain't got to do that, or it's now I got to convince you that what I'm saying is right and what you're saying is wrong. Like, no, bro, you can just say what you say. He say or she say whatever they got to say, and we can table it there. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to change nobody's mind. You're not going to change nobody's mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's
yeah.
fine too. That's fine too. Live and
Everybody
let live.
forgot how to converse too. It seems in these past couple of years.
Most people are mentally and emotionally weak, bro, and damaged people in their core, man, because of trauma. You know what I'm saying? It's not all their fault neither. You know what I'm saying? But some people have a
Yeah.
lot of trauma, and that shit comes out in these spaces, especially when you can say and do whatever behind the avatar with no repercussions.
Word up.
Yeah.
Yo, Mark, before you leave, I want to get your insight on a topic that I'm gonna cover. I think tonight I'm gonna make another video. Did you hear that rapper from Mississippi? He passed a few years ago. His name was Big Daddy. That they were saying that Biggie copied his style. He rapped over the Juicy beat.
Yeah, I did a story about it.
Yeah. I wanted to cover that. I wanted to do a
About
story about that. What did you think he bit his style or what? Like real quick.
well, I don't know who came first. They say that guy came before Biggie, but I don't know that. I haven't seen any document of that. But I know a lot of guys, like if you're fat, people called you big. You get what I'm saying? Big this. You had Big Chris and Stank Breath Chris. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like light skin Keisha, dark skin Keisha. You know what I'm saying? So you got big this, big that. The Juicy Beat is a very popular sample. But it's very possible guys send their demos in to places like Uptown. I remember buying CDs and tapes when we was kids, and we all knew somebody who was sending in CDs, tapes to the address on the back of the CD and tape, that they bought. They'll send their shit into Uptown, Def Jam, and whatever. Even though it says we don't accept unsolicited music, people still send it in. That stuff goes in a pile somewhere. And somebody sits there in the intern room and listens to it, So
His
it's very
Theos.
possible. It's very possible, but um, even still, I've heard his version and I heard Biggie's version. Biggie was better. So, and if Biggie stole that one from him, what about the other 80 songs that Biggie recorded? You know?
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Because sometimes, look, I remember, because that is a big thing where guys get their music stolen, but a lot of times the artist might not know. It might just be the producer saying, "Hey, rap to this and rap about this." Like Kendrick Lamar had like that. I got royalty, got loyalty inside my DNA. It's a whole guy got a song just like that. And I never thought Kendrick Lamar was no biter, but you can hear that I got, and just like Kendrick Lamar, and the beat sounds similar. You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
that's the producer Mike Will made it. What about what's the guy? This is America. What's his name? Childish Gambino, Danny Glover, right? Donald Glover. Somebody had a version of that came out and was trying to sue him. Now see the Ice Spice chick got one. D Chambers up there in New York suing her for that. She in her mood. And his is I'm in that mood. I'm in that mood. You know, same sound the same, got a drill beat. So biting is a real thing, man. Motherfuckers be out here stealing.
biting's
Even in
more
the YouTube.
acceptable now though. Like you'll see current rappers biting off current rappers.
That shit whack, bro.
Yeah, that is whack.
That shit is whack. I ain't never respect no biting in no way, shape, or form. But I'm a creator, bro, and that, I pray, wreck my head around all kind of different concepts and throw things to the wall, tear it down. I have group conversations with people. Should I do this? Like trying to be creative and making sure I'm not duplicating somebody else's success. And so to hear somebody just to go through and just, okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, and I'm gonna remix the brick and make my own shit. Never respected it. Never hoyed of it.
You have content creators doing that to you as we speak, Marq Nash, bro. Like biting little bits of your flow, man. Like
you hear it, bro. You can. Hey, look, and the sad part is other people are watching me, find me later, and might assume that I took something from somebody else. And I'm like, no, bro. I was the originator, bro. If you can go back and watch how my show is formatted now, and go back and watch how some of these other guys' shows was formatted 3 years ago. That shit wasn't like this 3 years ago. Mine was. You know what I'm saying? Even with the topic list on the side. Some big YouTuber out there, he's doing that now. You get what I'm saying? Got 100,000 subscribers. Now he got the topic docket to the left of his show. Even the slang, man. I heard somebody one day saying never hoid of it. I'm like, where you get that from? Or put a case on it. I'm like, what?
No, a lot of them are saying put a case on it now. There's a few channels saying that shit now. Boxing ones.
Yeah.
They like nowadays saying a biter is like, I mean, biting is cool, man. Like I guess like we're gonna have to let it rock. Before it was an insult. Now it's I guess it's like for everybody to bite.
Hey man, a lot of these dudes weren't even doing drops, bro. Go back and look at that shit like 2020. These dudes didn't even have drops. You know what I'm saying? Then they got the drops. Like, yeah, man.
Now you have video drops too.
Yeah, but some people actually stole some of the. I seen a dude with some of the same drops. I'm like, come on, B. Like that's what we had with it. All right. And their argument would be like, well, you don't own that clip from Friday. You know, when I got that, what? Say it again. Say it. The pinky clip from Friday. Like, I seen somebody using that shit. And they was like, oh, Marq, you can't say he biting off of you because you didn't, you took that from Friday. I was like, bro, but I repurposed the clip to fit this type of medium. And he wasn't, man, it's a dude out there, bro, took my game night. You know, I be doing game nights, right?
Yeah.
And I've been doing game nights for years. And then I remember, especially every New Year's, I always do a game night. Nigga did a game night on New Year's. And not only did he do game night, he used the exact same game that I used the year before or 2 years before.
That was how I found your channel on the game night too.
Huh?
That was how I found your channel on the game night.
Bro, dude bought the exact same game that I had already used. Put it on, even bro, I can keep naming the list of things that I came up with trying to do first. And people just tried to remix the brick, man. It is what it is, man. Hey, look, and then it diss me. Be like, yeah, man, fuck Marq Nash. Like, what? Like, dog, you okay, bro?
Nah,
You
but you know, if there's one thing too, man, like which they can't replicate is your consistency too. I mean, you're at it every day. You know what I'm saying? Like for the most part, even in COVID, and I know you don't feel like streaming today. You're still considering it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that takes a lot of commitment. Like, better than me in that department by 100. You know, and you gotta respect the game too.
Yeah, well, the cream gonna rise to the top, bro. That's what they always say. Because at the end of the day, if you always copying off somebody else, I mean, good luck, bro. You can't even do what I do. Like I can do it. I go live at the same time somebody else going live with the same topic at the same time. My shit just gonna be different from yours. My flow is different. The energy different. You know what I'm saying? My style is different. It's raw. It's authentic, and I think that's what people are attracted to. They can tell it's like, okay, this guy just the delivery, the energy. So I ain't saying I got it all figured out, but I know I got something special, man. And I'm gonna just keep perfecting my craft, bro. And I challenge everybody else to do the same. But I appreciate you, man, taking your time to talk to me, bro.
Word up,
Huh?
big things 2024 too, man. God bless. Good looks for coming
Man,
through.
got a podcast too. All right, yeah. So
Good looks
what?
for coming through, Marq Nash. And anybody who's listening, subscribe to Marq Nash TV. Great content creator on YouTube. Not only discusses boxing, but discusses entertainment, politics, current subjects, you name it. And he's here every night, and not for no 20 seconds. My man puts hours in almost every day.
Slow down. I don't do every night no more. Because I do so much content. Yeah, I try to do like 3 to 4 days a week, but the other days I'll do something like on my Patreon. I got a little Patreon, so the Patreon is lit because I like to talk about other stuff that YouTube probably don't want me to talk about. They'll snatch your channel. They'll snatch your chain, man. Get your chain snatched talking about certain things. So, and I'm suspended right now on my monetization. So that shit comes back like I think in February the 5th or something like that. But yeah, they suspended me, man.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh man, shit, nigga, this ain't my only gig. I be hustling. You know what I'm saying? I can't depend on this shit to take care of my family and pay my mortgage. My expenses too high, bro.
Word up. Nah, I feel you.
But I hold it down, man. Thanks for having me on, man. I don't know if you're gonna keep this episode up. If you do, I'll definitely share it on my community tab with the homies. All right.
Oh no, I'm gonna stay.
And
I'm gonna
everybody
keep
in the neighborhood.
Now that I got a celebrity on my shit, of course I'm gonna keep it up, bro.
Nah, man, you the celebrity, bro.
Good looking out though, Big Marq.
My brother, hold it down.
Much success 2024 to you and yours too.
Hey, bro, I'm living and breathing, so already halfway there to making it, right?
You're partially breathing with that COVID shit.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah,
rest up too, man. Try to relax and beat that.
Did you get vaccinated? Get the jab?
Hell no. Come on.
You got it? Yeah, I got this shit, nigga.
And look at you, bro.
And I was mad. I was mad at my wife too. My wife's a nurse, man. So she was pressing me to get it because she was, because she's always exposed to some shit at her job. And she was just pressing me to get it, baby, and we had a newborn daughter. Like my daughter was less than a year old. And I was wilding. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do because Georgia didn't shut down. So I was still going out, doing shit. You know what I'm saying? DJing you know what I'm saying? I was wilding out.
Oh, you DJ too?
Yeah, I DJ, man.
Oh, that's what's up, man. I'm a DJ too.
Oh, yeah?
Of course. Yeah, I'm a DJ.
You do parties, clubs? What do you do?
I used to do more like club stuff, but I would like I've been DJing for like 20 years. But when I first started DJing, I was hustling, so I wouldn't take it too seriously because I was making bread. And then when I started trying to do more club stuff, I would get into a lot of skirmishes and stuff like that. So a lot of people wouldn't really fuck with me in New York, like promoters, whatnot. I got real quick before you leave. Let me show you my little creation station. But now I'm gonna use this time to close the show too.
Go ahead, you can close it and leave me backstage. Then I can check it out when you end it.
Yeah, no, I want to show off to the peoples too. Love, I'm done. You go downstairs. My bad. Pardon, Mike. Pardon, Big Marq. Yeah, this is my
how many levels you got in the mansion? Oh man.
Yeah. I got the production equipment. I don't know how to fuck with it though.
What you got?
What's
What you
this?
got?
Pardon me?
What you got?
The Machine Studio?
Oh yeah. You don't know how to use it.
Nah, I'm not really
It's simple,
tech
man.
Oh, yo, my man's. Nah, I don't know if you could peep it. The jump off.
Oh yeah. Was that a gauge? Was that 12 gauge?
Nah, the 12 gauge up there.
Mossberg. What's that? A Mossberg?
There's a Mossberg. There's an Anderson, I think, and this one is a I forget.
Oh shit! I ain't mad at you. You know.
But that's my little studio room, the that I don't use. But yo, good looks for coming on again, man.
Man, I want to have no other way, man. I'm gonna check you on the next one. Hey,
And I gave you the tour of the Cribbos too. But good looks for coming on.
Shoot me the email though, man. Shoot me an email. I'm gonna show you this new mix controller I'm getting, man. I'm gonna buy it for myself for my birthday next month. This shit is fire. You know, I do a lot of Pro Tools engineering too. Like, so that's my thing. I like to mix and master. But when I DJ, I do. Yeah, man. Yeah, bro, I do a lot, bro. I make the beats, I engineer, I produce, I DJ, mix and master, I shoot the videos. Hey, look, I do the ring walk music for fighters. I do intros and logos for YouTubers. Like, man, I kind of do it all. I do the merch. Kind of do it all, bro. One man movement, bro.
Engineering is something I've always been interested in too.
Yeah, that's how I started on YouTube. I was doing tutorials on YouTube first. That's why I was like showing people how to, do things more efficiently with their Pro Tools setups. So, but we'll link, man. Shoot me an email though, man. Let me get off this phone. I'm gonna talk to you later.
I will, man. Good looks for coming through, and for all you other guys, good night. Peace.
Peace.